Going on, guys? It's Stingray here. It's June 16th, 2019. I'm just doing the weekend outlook. I'm waiting for the weekend open, see which way we gap and see which way things start moving to map out Aussie and New Zealand, but I'll go over DXY, Euro, and Pound real quick. So we're going to start with DXY. I was bearish the past 2 weeks, and we did get a nice move down that kind of took out all these swing lows like we were talking about a few weeks ago for my weekend outlook. We had only worked one side of the range, and it was just kind of making higher highs and leaving in these swing lows, and it didn't really reach for liquidity below the market at any point since this sweep right here until we had this down move, and it kind of worked the other side of this range, right? So now that we've worked with the other side of this range, and keep in mind we're still on a macro trend bound or range bound trend, so we're not really in a trending environment, and so that can be seen in two major ways, right? If we zoom out a little bit, we can kind of see this right here, right? When we're in a trending environment, it's clear, nice moves. We've been in this chop right here. But the reason I am actually bullish on this still, and I switched my bias, is that I was just bearish in the range, right? And still we start actually breaking market structure and breaking these major range levels. I don't think we'll actually head down farther, actually get a big expansion downwards. So if we look, right, deviated above, held below, and then right here, broke above, support, broke below, quickly reclaimed, right? Support, and it's held to support. So until we get back below this, right, on a macro perspective, which comes in around 96.05, I'm not going to be expecting a large expansion. Once we do get back below this, then I think we'll take out this low, and then we can see if it starts filling out these, right? If it gets back down this low. But that's on a weekly perspective. So if we go into daily perspective, give it more of an immediate daily bias. So let's see, the major price leg that we're in right now, right, is going to be, we're within this price leg. So I would say this low to this high. So if we look, right, like we said, it just made one side of the range right here, and then we worked the other side of it. So we took out liquidity below this low, into this block right here. And if you look how quickly we took below it and then got back above this mid-range is what makes me think that this could be a deviation and that we could still be heading up higher. So we could say that, look, yeah, we filled in this inefficiency right here and it's ready to roll over again, right? If it comes up and hit this resistance point and starts to give us a breakdown, then we'll start looking for dollar shorts. So the way I do my weekend outlooks is these aren't plans I'm looking to trade off of necessarily. These are levels I'm interested in, but in specific scenarios where I'll be looking for because I'm a scalper. So I'm not necessarily a swing trader. I'm just looking for scalps at these specific areas, looking for high impact moves off specific SR levels that I can capture. And I'll be using the dollar to kind of hint at the majors in order to give me setups in the majors. So I don't actually trade the dollar index itself. I just use it as a major tool because I usually just trade Euro USD, Pound USD, Aussie USD, and New Zealand USD. So those are my four major pairs. So yeah, what I think we could get is a push up in DXY, and I don't necessarily think that these two SR levels are going to hold. I think we could actually come up and take out this liquidity above this range high and into this 98.50 level. And if we go on to a weekly perspective, we have some fairly clean highs over here and a little bit of a liquidity void into this up move that pushed the market down. So I think that's a possible upside target that is outside of the range, so I'll be taking it day by day until then. Areas that I do have my eye on for possible breakdowns, if we start to form a swing high right here, a 1, 2, 3 bar swing high right here at this resistance level or this resistance level, then I could be saying, okay, that maybe this fast move up was just a stop run and we could be heading lower again. But until then, I still think high time frame trend is up. And while there are the yields rolling over, all this kind of stuff that are pointing to a potential dollar bearish case, I do need to see a major break in market structure. So until it makes a lower high and holds that lower high, I can't necessarily be overly zealous on my bearish position or my bearish bias. Okay, so that's dollar. So going along with dollar, right, we have Euro USD. So I'd marked out this liquidity void in last weekend's outlook and it didn't quite fill it. We chose to push up instead, which is fine. But now at this point, I do think we could see a potential push up and fill the rest of this in because this is a pretty fast down move. So I think we could start the week and push up a little bit into these resistance levels. And if we drop down to an H4, there's more resistance in here. So yeah, okay, look. We have this SR level right here. Sorry, that was just an old scribble. We have that SR level right there, and we could say that this is the up move that pushed the market down, right? So we could potentially be looking for push up into here, fill in this inefficiency, this quick move down, right? And then we look for the breakdown right here. And then we start taking it lower. Okay. Now, if it does start to push lower first, it comes down here and finds support, and at the same time, dollar is pushing lower and finding, dollar is pushing up and finding support or resistance at that SR level that we talked about. Then once we get back above here, we can start looking for bullish scenarios and start looking for maybe a buy program and start looking to take this up. Okay, but until then, I'm leaning on we could push up beginning of the week, or if we just continue to flush, that's fine. But as long as we don't start finding support here and dollar doesn't find resistance at the same time, I'm still thinking we go lower and take out this low and this low then. Okay, so if we look at the daily again, we can tell overall trend is just down, right? We keep putting in these lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and keep making lower lows, and this is the first move up. But if we look at the speed of this move up, and it's taking out these clean highs right here, right? We could just look at this as a stop run until it proves that it's actually going to make a lower high, or sorry, a higher low, and carve out a higher low here, and then push up and make another higher high. I don't know if this is necessarily a trend reversal. This could just be a quick deviation and then run back down. Because if we look, and we'll go into the pound right now. If we look on the cable, this run up here was something similar, right? So it was making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, right? And then it kind of made down here, made this lower low. And then we had this big run up here, and everyone got bullish as fuck on this, right? Everyone was super bullish. Okay, higher high, but no one waited for it to make a higher low. So we made the higher high, and this just turned out to be a stop run of this, and so it was just a quick move up and then just ripped right back down. All right, so when we ripped right back down, then everyone was like, oh, fuck, this wasn't really a higher high because then there was no higher low holding it, okay? So that's the same thing here. I do think we'll come back down and take out this swing low soon, and then eventually targeting this weekly swing low, this weekly liquidity point. I do think this is going to be my ultimate target. However, we do have some things in here as well, right? So we do have this big inefficiency, so we can drop down to the 4 hour. We do have a big move down, right? And if we come back up, could break down from here. Push all the way up here, and then look for short back down. Take out this swing low, and then this low, okay? The other scenario is if we do come into here, take out this liquidity, find support here, and then start to push up, and at the same time dollars into resistance and then pushing down, then we'll start switching our bias and look for longs. And I'm expecting that could happen midweek or Tuesday if that does happen. If that does choose to dip down onto like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. But otherwise, I do want to see this push up pretty quickly out of the gate along with dollar rolling over, and see if we can fill in some of these voids before we head lower. Because if we do get a pretty big move down, I don't see any reason this couldn't reach for that weekly level. Right. Let's see. About 230 pips. So it may not happen in this week, maybe into next week's range, just because we haven't had that much volatility in the sense that, like, yeah, we do get these quick run sell-offs, but they don't happen every week. So it may happen into next week, but I really do think if we come up here, push up and break down, then we could get a nice continuation move trending lower off this. But like I said, there are a lot of things that could push the majors higher, such as yield divergences and just macro news. But with any of those things, I need to see it confirm, and it's very possible we come down and swing fail this low and then start to push up. But like I said, we need to see those other things, the price action confirm the other macro perspectives for any of those to actually matter for me. So yeah, that was just a quick review, and I will be back later this week to update Aussie and New Zealand. Have a good one, guys.